generate chilling effects on innocent people who may be engaged in legitimate activities.
即係高等法院庭前法官嘅就係佢話到俾大家聽，即係喺政府運用公權力嘅時候必須要小心啦。權力嘅使用係會造成寒蟬效應，係會帶嚟一啲寒蟬效應，會令到一啲無辜嘅人或者做正當行為嘅人都會驚咗嗰件事。
The application came after the song was wrongly played at international sporting events instead of the Chinese national anthem. Now, this isn't the first time the song has come under fire. The lyrics contain a slogan which the court had earlier ruled as constituting secession. It went viral during the 2019 unrest as demonstrators called it the unofficial anthem of Hong Kong. Now, that's led to the song appearing in top search results on Google for Hong Kong national anthem. The city's technology chief, Sun Dong, revealed that the injunction was driven by Google's unwillingness to remove the content without a court order. The clampdown on national security issues has long drawn criticisms from US and UK. And just on Friday morning, Washington Post quoted sources saying that the White House has barred Chief Executive John Lee from attending APEC in San Francisco this November. Now, Mr. Lee is sanctioned by the US for the crackdown on political freedom in Hong Kong. The news report also said that Hong Kong can still send other delegates to the summit. Beijing and Hong Kong authorities have strongly condemned the move, calling it a flagrant violation of APEC rules. Now, they've called on US to lift all sanctions against Mr. Lee and to invite him to the summit. Geopolitical tensions haven't stopped Mr. Lee from seeking stronger ties with other regions like the Middle East. Now, he is currently in the last leg of his first official trip to Singapore, Indonesia and Malaysia, where he affirmed trade relations with ASEAN leaders. Hong Kong has applied to join the Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership, or RCEP, of which ASEAN is a part of, to enhance its competitiveness. Deborah Wong, CNA, Hong Kong.
We are going for a short break now. Ahead on Asia Now, Singapore's High Commissioner to the UK takes issue with a British newspaper over misrepresentations in a column. And later, we'll explore the botanical connection among 5 Southeast Asian nations.
CNA brings you face-to-face with the big names from business leaders.
Yes, I'm quite optimistic about 2023.
Overall, it's a lot better than pre-COVID.
To top government officials.
We will not allow anyone to use Sri Lanka as a military hub or vote for anyone.
If Russia is allowed to get away with undermining the international system in the UN Charter, then nothing is sacrosanct.
They whip out everything using their heavy artillery. No buildings, nothing.
Top tech experts.
We don't want to perpetuate the problems of the past in our future with AI.
And insiders on sustainability.
Policymakers and businesses and citizens have to stop thinking of the growth versus environment paradigm.
In-depth interviews to help you understand the most pressing issues of our time. CNA has you covered.
These hospital professionals work to bring life,
我们不是在创造奇迹，而是在最佳状态让奇迹发生。
as well as to declare death.
Hi, we're here for the brain death certification.
相比于其他医护人员，我的工作必须和死亡打交道。
Find out more in Specialists in the Unusual, Wednesday on CNA.
Kind of fog around the apocalypse.
We've seen fire in the Arctic that was never there. We know these are unprecedented in the last 10,000 years or so.
I think everybody was shocked that climate change has arrived so dramatically and so suddenly.
We don't know what's coming.
Welcome back. Singapore's High Commissioner to the United Kingdom, Lim Tuan Kwan, has written a letter to British publication The Economist, hitting back at misrepresentations in a column. And Mr. Lim took issue with the claim that Singapore's Corrupt Practices Investigation Bureau, or CPIB, could not be independent because it reports to the Prime Minister. Calling the charge deeply offensive and uninformed, Mr. Lim said that the CPIB did not require the Prime Minister's permission for any investigation. He added that there were provisions in the Constitution that ensured investigations would continue with the concurrence of the President. This, even if the Prime Minister did not consent to the CPIB investigations. In the case of Transport Minister S. Iswaran, the Prime Minister's concurrence was sought only because it involved a minister. And the Prime Minister concurred within a day after receiving the CPIB Director's report, Mr. Lim said. When investigations are completed, the findings will be submitted to the Attorney General's chambers. In the case of 2 ministers renting state-owned bungalows, Mr. Lim said that it was the Prime Minister himself who asked for an investigation and no evidence of wrongdoing was found. Staying in Singapore, the Tour de France Criterium cycling race is returning to the city-state for a second straight year. It will come with a new 3-kilometer route and an event where amateurs can race for free. The stop here is one of only 2 in the world, the other being in Saitama, Japan. Unlike a typical Tour de France road race, criteriums are races that are shorter on a closed circuit. Come October, the race will see 32 of the world's top riders speed off outside Suntec City and circle the iconic Fountain of Wealth. Heading down Nicole Highway towards Merlion Park, they will race past local landmarks, including the War Memorial Park, the Esplanade, and the Singapore River. 2-time Tour de France champion Tadej Pogačar will be making his Singapore debut. Amateur cyclists here will also get a chance to compete on the same track as the Slovenian cycling star. Organisers are offering free clinics where top coaches will prepare local riders for the asphalt. The 2-day event will also feature an international music festival.
We're going to have 2 concerts in the Fountain of Wealth, so definitely I think it will be very exciting. Other than cycling, they can also join the concerts.
And before we go, the 5 Southeast Asian nations behind the joint UNESCO Kabaya bid are showing off something else they have in common: orchids, weaving together the power of flowers and the collective culture of 5 nations. This exhibition at Gardens by the Bay brings together orchid hybrids born from native species across Brunei, Indonesia, Malaysia, Thailand, and Singapore. It also pays tribute to the Kabaya heritage of these nations and amplifies a collective identity that transcends their differences.
One of the take home that me and my team and hopefully the visitors can know that while we are also different, we are also the same in many ways. So if we can, in a way, in today's uncertain world with many global challenges like climate change, if we can all work together, find common ground, I think we can find successful solutions for the way forward.
And we will leave you now with more from the Orchid Extravaganza at Gardens by the Bay. That is Asia Now for this hour. Headlines anytime at cne.asia. And you can also find us on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Enjoy the pictures.
Warm memories wherever you go. The weather, sponsored by Qatar Airways. The weather, sponsored by Qatar Airways.
Singapore has been shaped over hundreds of years by a blurring of cultural and ethnic boundaries.
Singapore's success was based on its perfect geographical location.
Singapore, a city with a surprising wild side.
Our tiny island is really alive day and night.
Our commitment to improve bilateral ties on the basis of equality and mutual respect.
Imagine the Singapore you know, only reimagine it.
Singapore has a role to play in the AI world.
When you get AR and VR spaces, there's the opportunity to bring children and parents together to play.
Singapore gears up to develop this new frontier.
The sky's the limit.
On the next Asia First, a conversation about who has the right to display fragments of the past. We head to Glasgow, where one museum is beginning to repatriate looted items to India, a former British colony. This while New Delhi denies it is actively trying to seek the restitution of artifacts.
We really wanted a house that was rather open, that we could see the garden from every aspect of the house. A house that we could freely walk around, enjoy with pathways and halls and interesting corners. A house wherever we looked, we would find something interesting. I was just looking for a bold and strong-looking house.
I was not convinced at first. I said, what do you mean a very macho house, you know? And then he said, okay, let me drive you around, we go see the houses. I ended up liking his idea very much.
I came across a design that Carl had done. It was a rather interesting modern design of a Buddhist temple. It had nice bold lines, which I liked, and I took it from there.
In his brief, he did ask that the house has to be balanced with pockets of greenery, and it has to be a fine balance between what's being enclosed in private and what's visible from the public. We got to know the site and realized from the archive drawings it belongs to the house of former President Ong Teng Cheong. to try to see if we could retain certain aspects of the house. We managed to salvage some of the window grills from the old house, and it's being used as the decorative panel at the main entrance foyer. It's a villa that has different parts of it sitting separately from one another but yet connected as well. So we wanted this idea of duplicating that and repeating it on the multiple layers to have a house that is broken into different blocks in such a way that they are separated but connected by courtyards and water features, and also allow for natural ventilation as well.
I like something that is really open. I like the greenery, the trees, the plants. It's very soothing. It has got a very nice view of the outside, the garden, as well as the rooftops of the area.
Because the shape of the staircase is very organic, and in terms of pantry, it's very hard to achieve this sort of curve. So we have to make on-site decision and also decide placement of, for example, the handrail as it turns.
It's a lovely spiral staircase which extends all the way from the basement right up to the attic where our master bedroom is. With windows facing the sky garden, you get a beautiful view of this garden. And when the windows are open, it's very nice and breezy.
The sky terrace acts as a privacy screen as well as a belt for leisurely activities for the owner, so they can grow their own vegetables or favorite plants.
I'm quite hands-on with the gardening, although we have some gardeners to help. I like to do it myself because they are like my children, the plants.
My favorite spot is really the sky garden, sitting out in the balcony. And on a really cool night and clear sky, it's very relaxing just to lounge out there.
My husband loves to sing, and that was one night that we were at the Sky Garden, and it was so cute that my husband started singing some Italian song, and that was so romantic of him.
What I really love is the spirit of this house. All the qualities that I would look for in the house, the interesting corners, the spaciousness, the breeziness and coolness of the house, all come together. So it just makes me happy.
At Singlife, trust is in our DNA. We are a leading homegrown financial services provider that is here for the long term. So building trust is important in everything that we do. Here at Singlife, we like to say, there is always a better way. Progress and improvement are endeavors that we continually pursue. This drives us to do better for our people, our customers, and our community. By fostering positive relationships and championing initiatives for mental, physical, and financial well-being, every day is a step forward. It is especially important that we nurture a workplace environment in which every person in our diverse team feels safe and valued. This is why open communication and honest feedback are extremely vital to us. From caring for our people to providing innovative solutions for our customers, Singlife is here to provide a better way.
Singlife is the official presenting partner of the CNA Leadership Summit.
As Malaysia continues its fight against COVID-19, families had to overcome significant barriers to see their loved ones again. I'm Afifa Arifin, CNA, Johor.
Tonight on Japan Hour.
回転寿司の市場規模はここ10年でおよそ 1.6 倍に急成長。
あんまりネタ触ってるとその分悪くなっちゃうんで、もう早く自分の決まった手数でもうすぐ決めちゃうっていう感じですかね。サバラが飲みました。お飲んだでサバラ食べたい人。果たして売り上げは
Japan Hour. Tonight on CNA. Japan Hour is brought to you by Sumitomo Corporation. MUFG, committed to empowering a brighter future. And Zip Air. Summer fares now available with daily flights.
I make 5 figures a month.
From lavish incomes to seemingly miraculous products.
My mother-in-law thinks that this coffee is supposed to tackle cancerous cells. Wow.
You may have either bought or sold products from multi-level marketing companies.
Are MLMs just too good to be true?
Talking Points, Sunday on CNA.
I can see a lot of women trying to wear this cheap house now. It should not just be a costume that you wear for only one occasion. make it more contemporary. You can wear it with a pair of sneakers. Motifs can mix it with your jeans, and it's reaching out to these young where they say, okay, I don't look like I'm wearing your grandmother's clothes. I make a lot of clothes that are Asian, Chinese, but I try to make them a little bit more westernized as well with some details. What I do is just a little bit more unusual, especially the technique of cutting it, the proportions. The new clothes must be able to be comfortable where they can drive, they can run around, they can go groceries or pick up the kids kind of thing. The dress can be a very quiet way to tell people this is what I am. It's so important for me to reach out, whether it's for the new generation or the older folks, because I think that there are very few traditional clothes now at Cheap House. We want for traditions to survive. I'm not against the traditional part, but I think it must be able to survive for the future. So it must have moved on a little bit here and there, whether the colors, whether it's the fabric, whether it's the proportion, whether it's the length, that's a little bit more contemporary now. One of the reasons why I did the cape is because I have customers who say that, okay, they buy cheongsams, but they also want it to look a little bit more dressed up. You can wear it with a double collar inside, which is the Chinese used to do last time, or you can also wear it once with my cheap house with collar and my cape without the collars. So that's how I come up with these different designs of capes. I am definitely inspired by my mom. It started off with very traditional ones where it's the buttons and the trimming sort of thing. 15 siblings, same parents. I am number 13, Eddie is number 15.
My mother and father are very supportive. Legends always want to be a designer since young time. I ever see him drawing for his own friends.
I decided myself that I don't study fashion because I thought that if I go away, I don't think I'll come back. For me,